Welcome to day 3, the final day of this overland trip with Toyota from Moab all the way to Telluride. And I gotta admit, I'm getting a little stinky after 3 days of no showers and living out of a tent. But I guess that's part of the overlanding experience. Now, if you recall, the first 2 days we published a review of the Toyota Tacoma and then the Tundra. And today, that's right, we've got the 4runner TRD Pro. And coming up right now, let's take it overlanding. So how long is today's last leg?
Probably about 4 hours of drive time, roughly.
Well, that's not bad.
Nope, not bad all into Ouray. So we should be, with lunch and airing up the tires, we should be into Ouray 2-3 o'clock today.
All right, great. And why did you pick this route? Why Moab to Telluride?
Well, great question. I think the Moab part was Josh from Toyota thought, hey, it'd be fun to kick off in Moab. So then we just had to kind of connect the dots. We knew where we needed to start. We knew where we wanted to end. So the Rimrocker Trail made a perfect way to do it. And it's actually a newer trail. It's not like they actually built anything new road-wise, but they went through and put together a series of roads and two-track, everything from two-track to nice improved grade roads to make a single connecting trail between the two.
Is this Rimrock? Is it just from Moab to?
It's actually Moab to Montrose.
Okay.
We're going to detour. It'd head north from here up to Montrose, and we'll detour south down to Ouray, down in the San Juan Mountains, where we join up with the FJ Summit event.
So you've overlanded down to South America. Is this very similar to what you guys do normally?
Sure. Like far as life and camp life and travel, you bet. Wake up, eat breakfast, put the camp away, and hit the road.
Yeah.
And repeat.
No passport needed.
No passport needed. Yeah, not yet anyway, right?
All right, guys, I'm in the 4runner, and we're gonna do a little bit of off-roading. I've got it in 4-low. I've got my rear differential locked. I've got it set for mud and dirt because that's where we're on. And yeah, I've got the POV camera up here so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing. And let's see how this bad boy tackles the mud. And once again, a lot of protection underneath this because it has the TRD off-road package. The sight lines are really good. This truck, I guess, replaces a fair word. The FJ Cruiser when that went away, so now this is Toyota's most affordable off-roading rig. And yeah, so far so good. It's a little steep and deep here, so I'm just kind of going around, seeing how it handles the mud, seeing how it does up and over these not too steep little gullies. And I have to tell you, it's very confidence inspiring. Under the hood of this 4runner is a 4-liter, puts out 270 horsepower and 278 pound-foot of torque. Now, it is mated to a 5-speed automatic transmission, which is a little down on gears considering that a lot of today's modern trucks have 10 speeds, but it has a traditional and I think very capable 4-wheel drive system where there's a lever that engages 4 high and a transfer case that engages 4 low. And like the Tacoma, you also have Toyota's crawl control, which lets you let the truck do the driving for you if you're a little worried about going off-road. Let's talk about the difference between this and the Wrangler, because the Wrangler does bring a party trick to the table that this doesn't have. What I'm of course talking about is the lockable front differential, but for the most part you probably don't need a lockable front diff if you're just up here. Oh, I can't see over the hood, that's a problem. I don't want to roll this truck. I'm not comfortable there. Look, I'm on a kind of a very tight little cliff and it would be easy to roll the truck. While it would make for good video, we still needed to get back to Telluride. I know which way to go. This is when it helps to have a friend spotting you. But like I was saying, while a Wrangler Rubicon does have a lockable front diff, unless you're doing some very serious rock crawling, it's not something that necessarily you need. This terrain management system, along with lockable rear diff, added ground clearance, does a really good job in making this, I think, one of Toyota's most off-road worthy vehicles. The approach and departure angles, I think, are a little bit better than the Tacoma. The ground clearance at almost 10 inches is really good. Sight lines, unless you're of course climbing over something that steep, are really good. In general, it's a mighty fine rig for most off-roading that most people will do.
There you go. I just have back. Are you locked up? Rear locker?
Why don't you try the hit at about 50 right now? Oh yeah, some wheel lift there.
Yeah, here we go. Let's get a little bump. Are you in crawl control? No, try that.
Look at the flex there, guys. Look at that. Look at those stock shocks working.
Yay! Nice!
Was that man or machine?
That was machine.
Let's talk about the important numbers. We've got 9.6 inches of ground clearance, 33-degree approach angle, a 26-degree departure angle, curb weight is 4,750, and this truck will tow 5,000 pounds all day long. So what makes a TRD Pro 4runner special? It starts right here. There's a big, massive old skid plate under there that says TRD Pro. It's on all the line. It also has 2.5-inch Fox shocks, giving you better suspension. There's a 2-inch lift on this truck. These black wheels are unique to the TRD Pro. A non-functional hood scoop. You also get an upgraded sound system, plus a sunroof, which this pre-production model doesn't have. And of course, the easiest way to tell a TRD Pro 4runner is right here. Look at that. A roof rack from the factory, so that you can mount your tent and be ready to go off-road or overlanding. Downside, I think, is the fact that it has that old 5-speed automatic and the fuel economy isn't grand. Right now we're getting 9.1 averaging on these dirt trails, being aired down. And when you're overlanding, of course, fuel economy is important because, well, you're going hopefully from one place to another place that's very far away, like Terra del Fuego from Colorado, so you want good fuel economy. You know, the reason the Toyotas do so well as overlanding rigs is because Toyota's laser focus attention on to quality, reliability, and durability. And these are the three virtues that you really want in an overlanding rig, because gosh, if you're somewhere in the middle of Chile, or is it Chile, and your rig breaks down on you, it's not ideal. And it's probably expensive. And the other great thing about Toyotas is that they're sold around the world. So the chances of you finding a Tacoma or a Tundra mechanic, or at least one that has parts that will fit those trucks, are relatively doable. Now the Tacoma and the Tundra aren't sold around the world. Those are very American trucks. The Hilux is the rest of the world's version of our Tacoma, so maybe the parts aren't interchangeable, but nevertheless, Toyota dealerships are around the world and you can probably make do. And that's another thing that makes these trucks really great for off-roading. I also like the fact that all three of them are traditional body-on-frame construction. I'm a big believer in that being kind of the most rugged, long-lasting way to build a truck. Some of you may disagree. If you think so, let me know in the comments below if you think unibody vehicles are just as good. And a lot of great vehicles that can be off-road rigs, like the Jeep Grand Cherokee or the Land Rovers, are unibody. But I like the old body on frame, and basically that means that you have a ladder frame with the suspension attached to it and then the body resting on top of it. It's kind of an old school way of doing things, but it makes for really great off-roaders, even though they're a little bit heavy. So out of the 3 trucks that I've driven on this overlanding adventure, which is my favorite, it's an easy choice. This because it's the Goldilocks of all 3. What I mean by that is the Tundra is just a little bit too big, and the Tacoma, at least in terms of like usable space where I could put stuff in or I could camp in, is just a little bit too small. But the 4Runner, this is Goldilocks. It's just right. It's taken all the things in the other 3 trucks and has kind of taken the best of those, right? So we've got the big controls here. We've got a really good seating position. We have comfortable seats for off-roading. We have controls that are easily accessible and come readily to hand. We have a traditional 4-wheel drive lever. We have a 5-speed transmission. That's probably a little too proven at this point. It probably should be, you know, more like 6, or if you're Ford or GM, 10 in their trucks. We also have a really great amount of usable space. Plus, it's an open and airy truck, so when I'm overlanding, I want to be able to see around me. And unlike, let's say, the Tacoma, I'm not sitting in this weird position where the ceiling is almost touching my head and I'm looking into the top of the A-pillar. And it's a truck that you can use not just for overlanding, but you can use on a relatively daily basis. So, not that you can't use a Tundra or the Tacoma on a daily basis, but this truck certainly makes a lot of sense if, let's say, you're not overlanding and you're not driving down to Terre de Fuego. You just need to drive to work and you need to bring your friends along for lunch or something. There's plenty of room for 5 people. Now, tomorrow we're going to do one more video, one final video. We're going to go run Imogene, which is a pass that is relatively difficult. I like your rig, man. That's so cool. Hey guys, welcome to the FJ Summit. We're gonna go run Imogene. Make sure you got something in your rearview mirror. It's a classic Colorado trail, and I'm hoping to actually get behind the wheel of this when we're running Imogene and actually do some proper off-roading in it so that I can give you a better idea of what it's like when we're not on a dirt road. It's not a proper overlanding expedition until you have the drone in the air, all the trucks lined up, and what you got yourself there is basically the ultimate Toyota overlanding expedition photo.
All but
If you guys got your eye on one of these TRD 4Runners, keep in mind that they'll be on sale starting this fall. Pricing has not yet been released, but you can expect they'll be a little bit more expensive because they do have all these off-road / overlanding goodies. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Truck. Check out tfltruck.com for more news, views, and of course, overlanding stinky reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.